If we left like an hour ago, we probably would have made it. It's supposed to rain all tomorrow, all Monday, so we actually probably just burned 3 days.
Okay, the sun just came out. We're clear, 30 minutes away from this airport. We're gonna try to beat the rain, but we're very, very behind schedule.
It looks like a full wall of rain up there.
See what the radar is doing. Yeah, you know what? Let's just wait for this to pass. Shot about traffic. Helicopter number 300 Whiskey Zulu. Downwind, runway 33.
So we got stranded in Quebec City. We got there at like 11 a.m. and it's currently 4:30 p.m. and this is our first stop of the day. Looks like we're probably gonna be camping tonight.
On the rugged coasts of Quebec.
Oh my God. It's been 2 days. The last 48 hours, right? 48 hours?
The last 2 days.
Okay, so the last 2 days have been like a fucking whirlwind.
We were trying to leave Quebec City, and there was a small window of good visibility, no rain.
We had one window, we missed it.
We waited a couple hours, and the weather cleared, so we departed. We flew north along the coast of the St. Lawrence River. Basically just tried to make our way up the coast of Quebec. The reason why we're going this direction is because if we get all the way to Blanc-Sablon, we can jump over, and it's only 6 minutes of flight over open water. It was basically alternating between rain and beautiful sunny skies. The rain itself doesn't prevent us from flying. It's if the visibility drops, that's when we have problems.
See any weather systems over there?
Looks like rain.
Like that way?
Yeah, it looks like rainish.
And so ends our good weather.
You going back to that road?
Yeah.
Do you want to head back or do you want to land there?
Oh, just land here.
As we always do, if we run into weather or we can't forge ahead, then we just put it down somewhere.
It's like a little helipad they made for us.
There's huge footprints though.
We're sort of on the southern bit of a system. There's lightning further north of us, so we want to obviously not proceed with that. I'd say in about 30 minutes this rain will pass, and then we'll be able to fire it back up and continue on our journey.
It's already starting to slow down now.
Look at that. Trust the radar.
What a weird place to be.
Sunny skies.
Yeah.
We're an hour and a half from where we left initially, from Quebec City, so we're pushing through, and I think that if we had waited, I think that what's behind us now will close off, and we may never have even made it out of Quebec City if we waited. But we had the most majestic flight up, some beautiful scenery, amazing low light, rainbows, double rainbows. We saw actually, for the first time, a full circle rainbow, because we were up high enough over the ground, and when we looked over to our right side, there was a rainbow, but you could actually follow it around in a full circle. So that was a very unique perspective, a very unique view. And it wasn't until the end we tried to get to Sept-Îles. That was our final destination for the day. The ceiling was too low for comfort.
The fog was coming in and it was getting dark, and we were so close to the airport. I think we're like 5 minutes away.
Sept-Îles was reporting fine visibility, fine ceiling for the whole day until we got there, or we were right about to get there, and the ceiling visibility dropped.
Find a spot where I can park without smacking my tail rotor off something.
I think this is marsh.
All right,
yeah.
Over this way. Or there's another field around.
We were literally 5 minutes from the airport, and we made the decision to not proceed any further.
300 Whiskey Zulu. We hit some poor visibility. We were just going to try to find a spot to set down in a field. Oh my God, we just gone up the scale.
Oh.
Someone definitely owns it, but it's kind of like you don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
No, it might be something better over here. Let's go this way, and we'll get radio. Just tell them that we're no longer inbound, because I don't want them freaking out. Sept-Îles radio helicopter 300 Whiskey Zulu. Yeah, we gotta get radio call, because I can't just leave this person hanging because I have a squad code and they're gonna send out search and rescue.
Okay.
Sept-Îles radio helicopter 300 Whiskey Zulu.
300 Whiskey Zulu, Sept-Îles radio.
300 Whiskey Zulu. We're just gonna camp out, I think, tonight, unless the visibility's changed down your way. How's it looking?
The visibility is good, but the sailing is very bad, about 400 overcast.
Let's just camp.
Yep.
everybody falls in this trap of, oh, I'm only 5 minutes from the airport. I can push it another 5 minutes. And if I get 5 minutes more, we'll be, in civilization. We'll have a bed to sleep in. We'll have, we'll get to our destination. But, even being 5 minutes away, we still made a decision. Let's just put it down. Not comfortable with, the ceiling where it is. It's going to get dark soon. So we really just decided to put it on the ground. So we turned around to find a nice clear spot. We knew we had actually passed a ski resort a couple minutes back. And we thought, what, even though this is probably private property, it's not an emergency at this point, but we need to find a place to land. So I think that most people will be reasonable and say, look, it's okay that you landed off season on our ski resort, since you had really no other options. So we basically found this clearing on the top of a double black diamond run.
Oh, good job.
Teamwork.
Put it down, had a really nice open flat area, set up camp, and that was actually our first time camping.
I feel like I hear something. Bear?
We are camping out on the side of a hill/mountain right now in a clearing. I don't know if I want to say it's a ski resort yet. Generally speaking, you're not allowed to do that. In flight training and flight school, as well as the safety courses that you go to, they always say, just land the damn helicopter. If you feel uncomfortable and that conditions are adverse, there's no sense in flying. You're just putting yourself at risk. Find a spot to land at somewhere that's safe, and that's what we did. And I don't think anyone would fault us for doing that. So for anyone who owns this ski resort or this ski hill, sorry for trespassing, but I think at this point, it was going to be dark. We chose to be safe, and I'm sure you guys would agree that it was the right thing to do.
The stupid thing says 10 big breaths, and I'm probably on breath 40.
Maybe your lungs are just smaller than the average human. Tent tour?
Tent tour.
Can you hear the lightning?
So in the center, we have our beds. We have these nice sleeping bags with little air mattresses underneath. Blow-up pillows. Off to the side, we have camera gear and charge bag and bathroom kit. Charge station, bear spray, rain jackets in case it's raining tomorrow and we have to leave the tent, my waterproof duffel bag, and then we have this space, dirty shoes over here. We've got the Aperture M9 up top along with another lamp. How do you feel about camping in here today?
I'm really excited. This is actually the first time we've actually gone really camping.
Yeah, this is my first time camping.
Talk about like jumping in head first, right?
Yeah, Jesus.
This is kind of intense. Good morning.
Morning.
How was your sleep?
Terrible.
Oh man.
Probably slept for 2 hours. I felt so sick last night.
I feel like I slept great. Let's see. Let's see how our friend's doing out there, shall we? There we go. All right, let's get packed up.
All right, let's do it.
We're gonna go to Teal. It's 12 minutes away, 10 minutes away, the airport. We're gonna refuel and we're gonna try to get up the coast to Labrador. There's about a 2-hour stretch we don't have radar coverage just because it's in the middle of nowhere. We have to be very careful there, and who knows, we may have to camp again. It took us like 3 days to get to Labrador. We took off from the hill and then ended up landing at Sept-Îles, and it took like 5 minutes to get there. The interesting part of this trip now is that from here and basically until Labrador, there's no radar coverage, so we can't see any precipitation, any weather systems on our radar, just because I guess radars don't exist in this uninhabited and rural area. Got to be very vigilant, keep our eyes peeled, and make good decisions. The theme of this trip, I think, is trying to exercise good judgment and good decisions. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we can make it to Battle Harbor today. We had our flight plan filed knowing that that was one of our mainstay safety mechanisms in place. The ceilings were a little bit low. We diverted course towards the coast. Ultimately, what we wanted to do was, I want to sit down in the sandbar, see if I can gather some more information rather than trying to make these decisions on the fly. Trying to make decisions in the air while you're only using half your mental capacity to fly and the other half to to try to figure out where you're going, it sometimes can be a lot to think about. So I'm never opposed to just landing the helicopter and regrouping and saying, okay, let's come up with a plan. Let's make sure we're making the best decisions with all of the information available. There's an airport a little bit further east towards the coast. Let's land there, see if we can get anybody, at least close our flight plan and tell them that we're on the ground safe, and then reevaluate the weather.
That's when kind of everything went to shit.
All right, let's hope that this place is open, 1, and 2, has a telephone. Success! Damn it, there's another door. I don't know yet. Oh, no, it's locked. To be continued. We got a MacGyver something here. Unfortunately, the airport was locked. We could get into the bathrooms, but we couldn't get a phone. There was nobody there, no fuel, and we still had no ability to contact people on radio, and we had no satellite or ADS-B weather coverage. So we still were in no better position, but at least we had shelter if we needed it. Let's see if the main airport door is open here. Denied. Maybe someone left a window open. I'm pretty sure trying to break into an airport is against the law. So the other option that we have, because we always have a backup plan, we have a Garmin InReach, which is a little satellite device that's not a sat phone, but it can pair with your smartphone and you can send text messages. So we're in communication with Becky's dad, and we always have him follow us along for every leg of this trip. It sends out location coordinates so he can follow us along the way. So worst case scenario is we can have him call flight services and let them know that we're safe and to close our flight plan that way. We were sending out a bunch of texts and weren't receiving them. We thought that we didn't have adequate satellite reception at the location. The weather actually cleared in the direction that we were going to be going based on observation. The ceiling lifted. It's like, okay, let's go. Let's see if we can make it.
We lifted off and we left about 5 minutes away from the airport, and the fog just kind of like, it was just like a fog wall. So we decided to put the helicopter down on top of this rock, and we had satellite reception. So we were able to text people, close our flight plan, let our parents know we were safe.
So we're basically on top of this rock here, nice firm solid ground. We have just enough fuel to get to our destination airport. So we can't do any more diversions. It is what it is at this point.
All right, so we're hanging out on this rock here that we landed on. We're getting some mountain obscuration out this way over the land that we have to go over, so obviously we can't pass that way. Nobody's answering on the radio. Now we play the waiting game.
On the bright side, we have food and we have water and we have shelter.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I have no idea how long these low ceilings are gonna last.
The flies are friggin' maggoty. And these mesh tents, head tents, are the best things ever.
Best $10. The fog just socked in. We're like, okay, well, we made the right decision. We're definitely stuck here for the night. So we camped there. It was calm when we landed, but as soon as we set up camp, the wind picked up that night, and it was a wet, rainy, windy night.
Fire up some Mr. Noodles.
Quality beef nudes.
We set up camp, took a few pictures, cooked a hot meal, and then went to bed at I think it was 7 o'clock.
Fly killing duty. Ooh, that's a good one. Feel the burn. No fly safe. You're dead. Ooh, yeah. Sap dragon, as they call me. 4-in-1. That's a 4-in-1 combo. It's a bit wet out there and very foggy. It's probably, 7 p.m. right now?
Yeah, something like that.
It's not even dark out. We don't have very much battery power or anything. We do have food, we have water. We had a nice little dinner. We're just gonna go to bed, I think, because we're both tired after sleeping out in the wilderness last night as well. Hopefully we're gonna get up for sunrise at 4 a.m.?
Yeah, 4:30.
See you bright and early.
All night, the wind was howling, it was pouring. I was terrified, I was shit-baked the whole night. And then we woke up early the next morning, looked out the window, and it was just fog.
Weather's still bad. Hey, plan for the worst, Beckham.
Oh my God, yeah.
What's going on?
I'm so nervous, I never want to do this again. It was pouring last night. Everything is kind of damp in here. It's foggy and we can't get out of here, and we barely have enough fuel to make it to the airport we're trying to get to. So all of these factors are just freaking me out. If we have a headwind at all, we're gonna be I'm just nervous about that.
We had just enough fuel to get to Blanc-Sablon from where we were, but that was not accounting for a headwind. And the wind had significantly picked up overnight, and I would have guessed we probably had, 15 gusting 20 knot headwind coming exactly like a perfect headwind. It wasn't even like a crosswind, it was perfectly coming from the direction we were having to fly. For people who don't know about aviation, if I'm flying, say 100 miles per hour into the wind and the wind is pushing you back 20 miles per hour, I'm only going 80 miles per hour across the ground.
What's up?
Yeah, we had about an hour window. By the time we packed up our tent and everything, the ceiling dropped a little bit again.
Fast forward a couple hours and we're just basically waiting on the weather.
We waited and we waited and we waited, and the fog was still there. So Chris hopped on the radio. We were trying to get, in touch with somebody just to see what the weather was going to be like.
We really had no information on what the winds were doing at Blanc-Sablon at this point. So I texted our buddy Austin Claiborne, who is like probably 4 hours behind us. A few hours later, he texts us back, "Oh, sorry, man. Yeah, here's the weather information." It was good to have somebody on the ground who was talking the same language, who understood all of the pertinent information we needed. He ended up going above and beyond and calling some of these smaller aerodromes which weren't reporting weather. And so he went above and beyond and actually really helped us out. By the time he got that information, it looked like the winds actually were calm in Blanc-Sablon, but they were still pretty gusty where we were on this rock. Drawing a straight line from us to Blanc-Sablon, there was one airport that was about 20 minutes into the trip. However, that airport did not have fuel and was not connected to Blanc-Sablon by any roads. This is all sort of coastal islands.
What we're going to do is eventually when the ceiling lifts, and assuming the weather gets better, we're going to overfly that airport. And based on our calculations, we're going to make an update on the amount of fuel we have and how we're doing as far as headwind is concerned. And if we think we can make it, we'll try to make it. It is beautiful here, though.
Yeah, except for I just want to get the fuck.
Yeah, I know. I'm ready to get off this. I'm ready to ditch this rock.
There's a couple towns up this road that if we can at least get to one of those towns and land in a field, then we can easily get fuel by finding someone to drive us. The decision we made was we're gonna make a few waypoints and we're gonna make times we need to hit. So by 15 minutes we need to be here. By 30 minutes we need to be here. And basically I tasked Becki with staying on top of those numbers. So she had a timer and she was watching the timer and she was cross-referencing it with our map and making sure when we hit this waypoint, okay, we're 7 minutes ahead of schedule. We charted our progress and knew that we were safe. This was the most tasks Becki's ever had to do from a co-pilot standpoint, and really that freed up a lot of mental capacity for me. I didn't have to keep worrying about navigation as much, and I could more worry about flying the helicopter and keeping us safe from that standpoint. Time is what we use to determine when we need to land and our fuel capacity. So timer went off, okay, there's a city that's connected to Blanc-Sablon by road, hung a left turn, there's a field, landed in the field. I think we landed on a small little blueberry patch. I have no idea if anyone speaks English here.
Okay, so we landed in this place called Riviera St. Paul. It's in Quebec. We landed on a patch of blueberries next to the ocean. There are definitely worse places we could have gone. Would way rather be here than where we were previously, but Chris has just gone up to try to see if we could catch a ride to the airport so we could fill up our fuel canisters, come back, fill the bird up, and then go to Blanc-Sablon. We're like an hour drive away from Blanc-Sablon where the fuel is.
It took me 9 minutes to find somebody to bring us to Blanc-Sablon, which is crazy because the hospitality of these small towns is something else. It reminds me so much of Newfoundland, even though we're technically still in Quebec.
You look beautiful before looking through that grass.
Did you put in slow-mo 120?
Oh, I should have.
Yeah, you should have. All right, ready to go? Went up, knocked on a door, no one home. Saw someone driving by in a pickup truck, flagged her down. She spoke English and said most people in this town speak English. She said, I'm busy, but I'll drive you to the store. So I went in, 2 people in the store, clerk who was on the cash. Sure, I'd drive you if I wasn't working today. And the other person who was coming to check out, she's like, oh, let me call my husband. Called her husband, Wayne Spingle.
Yeah.
Best kind. Comes on, he was there in like 2 minits.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, sure, I'll drive you.
That's nice.
This is like being in Newfoundland. And he's like, yeah, it's not the first helicopter that's landed there before. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, people will land there for bad weather. He took us, drove us and got fuel, drove us back. He didn't even have to do that. That was amazing. But Wayne, thank you very much. You saved us.
Wayne, you saved our asses. Thank you very much for being the kindest human and taking 2 hours out of your day to drive us all the way to the airport.
How's it going? We got 2 gas cans and these fine gentlemen at BX, which is the FBO here,
are gonna fill us up. Oh my god, this is absolutely crazy.
Not recommended, but we're in a pinch.
I'm so glad that we brought these.
Oh man, what an adventure. Flew to Blanc de Blanc, even though it took like 52 minutes to drive there, but it took 15 minutes to get there by helicopter. And we refueled last night, so we stayed in a motel. We had a hot meal, we had beds to sleep in.
Shower, hadn't showered in 2 days, fun fact. Never have I ever gone that long without showering.
We got a shower, we feel great.
It's amazing what a shower can do to a person. I felt like a new human. Even though it feels like we've been on this trip forever, we're actually just starting this trip now because we haven't actually made it to Newfoundland and Labrador yet.
We're basically just waiting out the weather to fly to Battle Harbor. And the issue is that the weather there now, it's low visibility there, so we're just sitting tight. It's supposed to lift in the afternoon. This whole trip has no real set itinerary. It's just, we have a lot of destinations we want to hit, and we're just kind of trying to fit them all together like a puzzle. So that's how we got here, and we're actually now about to start our trip. Crazy.
We are about to leave Quebec and enter the island of Newfoundland. Before we do that though, we have a 6 or 7 minute flight over open water though. We have our trusty personal flotation devices. And after we get on to Newfoundland, this will actually be a very monumental part of the trip because I've never flown a helicopter in Newfoundland. I grew up in Newfoundland, Becki grew up in Newfoundland. This has been something that I've been dreaming of doing since I've thought about flying helicopters, and it's finally happening. We were actually gonna go to Battle Harbor or Carpoon Island, where there's a lighthouse that we want to stay at. But both of those areas are socked in with fog. So we've decided to hop onto the island, head southeast, and hit Francois, or Francais, depending on who you talk to, our first Newfoundland destination.
Let's do it. And we're going. All right, Beck, we made it. We're within gliding distance of shore.
Oh my god, welcome home.
Oh my god, here it is. Newfoundland.
Yes, holy
Just-
shit.
Just as foggy as I remember it.
Yeah, I could cry.
So here we are. The island, the cold island of Newfoundland.
I guess it's a fishing village, is that what it was?
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
Industry was founded on?
Yep, and still pretty much the predominant industry.
If they catch one, they kill me.
Got
one! Nice!
That is a big one.
Oh, he's spinning. What do I do with it now? What do I
do?
do? Oh, he jumped off!
Oh!
Does that count?
That's not caught. That's
Not
hooked.
caught!
Not caught.
That's hooked, but it's not caught.
Will they make it? Tune in the next episode on Becki and Chris fly their helicopter to Newfoundland.
Oh my god. Check back in later.
Come see us on the next episode of Becki and Chris try to make it to our helicopter to Newfoundland. Will they make it? Oh my god, oh my god.
I'm gonna grab
Thank you for
the-
getting me a hood with this thing, man. You were so fucking right.
What did I tell him?
I didn't like argue it.
I just want the weather to cooperate. Because I don't want to camp in the wind and rain tonight.
What do you do if I just pour this out right now?
Punch you.
And my arsehole's puckered.
Booty pics.
Did you say booty pics?
I said moody pics.
Yeah, right, you perv.
Holy crap.
Jesus Christ.
Is that sunset? Sunrise?
What the?
Is that sunlight?
That's sunlight, dude.
Oh, 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 oh.
Pushing forward, keeping positive. What's that song? How's that song go?
I have no idea what you're singing.
I only remember part of it though.
There's so many freaking mosquitoes in here right now. Holy shit!